You're listening to Small Business Talk with Jerry. Sit in on great conversations with entrepreneurs who risk everything chasing the American dream.
Welcome, everybody. Small Business Talk with Jerry. I'm Jerry. I've got Jordan Whitcomb with me here today. We're going to talk about social media and your business, how it relates, where we came from, where we're going, where we are to a point.
Absolutely.
Jordan is going to be our social media guru for Small Business Referral Group, SBRG. Fun fact, what year were you born, Jordan?
1994.
1994. Now, Jordan's the kid in our group, to be honest. As a
I don't know I don't know when that changes, because everyone says you're a young kid. I'm like, my knees, ankles, none of that feels young, but Yep.
Wait till you're my age, kid.
Right?
That's where it comes from.
Absolutely.
But fun fact, you, as the kid of the group, were born 4 years before Google.
Wow.
You, sir, are older than Google.
That's insane.
So, yes, 1998 Google started, just for those of you who are wondering. I think it was in a college in 96, but truly online globally, 1998. But, so, I've been in business since the early 90s.
Wow.
So I've been around way before Google in business. I still remember when you had to call someone if you wanted to talk to them.
Yeah, and you guys had these like books that you sent around that were yellow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. People would come with vans full of them. And just drop them off at your door.
Look for people's names and numbers in a book and call from that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Text was what you found in a book.
Yep.
Yeah. There was, you didn't text people to ask if it was okay to call. I had that conversation with...
I was with Heather and my mom when I discovered text messaging.
Yeah.
They were like, oh my gosh, you can send a text from a phone and receive it on the other end. And they were blown away for about a month with that.
Yeah, what a crazy idea. And now I just had this conversation with a good friend of mine, Diane Gray, the other day. Yesterday, I was going to text her to see if it was okay to call. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call her.
Nope.
I'm that guy.
Nope.
And her and I had a laugh about that. But, okay. I tried to date you and make myself feel better about you being older than Google, but I had a MySpace.
I had a MySpace too.
Did you really?
Gosh, we all thought we were cool when we could like code on there and like you could add photos and like I even saw this thing on social media the other day where it was like we were so ruthless that we had a top 5 friends list. Yeah. And you could like rank your friends or whatever. I mean, you couldn't even do that nowadays probably without getting canceled or something like that.
Not without offending someone.
No.
Yeah, you didn't call me your number one.
No. But it's like people just like, I don't know. And then you would just like make your page exactly how you wanted it. And it's insane.
Yeah. And then Zuckerberg, came in and Facebook, Facebook was so awesome for so long. And if you're not conservative, and not to make this political, not my intention, but just facts are facts. If you're not conservative, Facebook is still fine.
Yeah.
But one of my businesses is a gun shop.
Yep.
And we have been canceled on Facebook and fact checked.
Yeah.
Which I still don't really understand the fact check. Because it's not fact, any of it, and it's very frustrating. You follow the rules, and then you get kicked out for not following the rules. You appeal it, and it takes sometimes hours, but sometimes it's days or weeks, and then they'll come back going, yeah, you're right. It didn't break our rules, and they'll put you back on, or they come back and just say, yeah, you didn't break our rules. You'll be back on in 90 days. Yeah. Very frustrating.
Yeah.
The amount of control that they have, but they have that control because we gave it to them.
Correct.
And again, not to get political, but if you can stay away from that mess, social media is fantastic for business.
Yep.
It's, there's just, you think about just as simple as you've got a bicycle to sell. Okay. When I was a kid, if you had a bicycle to sell, you asked like your friends, and if somebody wanted it, you learned to sell things for pennies on the dollar because you weren't going to find somebody that wanted it typically as bad as you did to pay what it was worth.
No.
So if you wanted to get rid of it, you had to sell it cheap. Now you put that on Facebook Marketplace, people can search it and come from states away to get it if it's worth, if the value's there.
Right.
So it's just crazy what's done. And then you look at business, how you can promote business. What's your take? You're in insurance.
Nope.
Do you use social media for insurance?
gosh, I mean, I feel like every major company utilizes it and has an entire, it's just astronomical budget when it comes to using social media, because everywhere you go, I mean, you have companies that sell marketing where they're using social media. So they're like, for this amount, this amount of money, we can do a package deal where we're monitoring, pop-up ads, and then we're putting stuff on Facebook and Instagram and all this stuff. It's just a whole economy now, just being able to market and use social media. And when it comes to insurance, every major player in the game is using social media because everybody's on it.
Sure.
And they're able to time when they're going to put the ads out there and when people are going to see it and how they click onto it. And gosh, if you even read the comments, people will utilize those posts to be like, you guys are terrible, you didn't pay out our claims. And you have these people that monitor that, whole departments that literally just go on there and try to either salvage business or try to get new business off of just Facebook ads.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
So
you use Facebook.
So that's the thing, is that, with our agency, we're very traditional in the sense that we believe that we're not trying to just mass market our insurance agency. It's something that's recommended from other people. And I mean, because if you throw enough nets out there, you're probably going to get some people. But we like to build those hot leads where it's like, that person from that person, so they trust you and say you're good, or you go build a relationship with a business partner that's able to like, hey, I have a client that needs help, send them your way. So It's something that I think as the insurance industry gets more and more competitive, which it has been with all the rate increases we've been seeing in inflation, people have to utilize that because you got to get your name out there because there's so much shopping going on. So It's something that we're going to probably put more money into, but everybody uses it. Yes.
Yeah. So how about outside of Facebook? What else? What other social media? There's a lot of platforms now.
Yep.
What do you use?
So for me personally, I try to go on, a couple times a month, maybe a couple times a week to Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat's a huge deal. So for me, I have a lot of friends of mine on Snapchat who are always on there. They're always posting about their kids or posting about whatever. And if I can just throw something out there to say, hey, if during this weekend, during this holiday, if you're, looking at your insurance rates and you need to talk to someone, here, hit me up. And people will see that, and people will literally just reply right off my story and be like, hey, run me a quote. And I do that. Facebook and Instagram, similar deal. If I put that on my story, everybody does stories now and reels. And we've talked about it extensively, short attention spans. People don't want to look at long videos or whatever. They just go off of stories and reels, and they want that quick, I don't know what it is, seeing people with quick glimpses into people's lives. And then, if they see my little thing like, hey, you're looking at your insurance rates, hit me up. And that's worked a lot. So
it has worked. I mean, you've closed business off of that.
Correct.
Awesome.
Yep. So those are my primary ones are Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. I mean, Twitter used to be a huge deal, but obviously it's I don't know, people just don't go on it. They call it more the swamp now because there's just people on Twitter that'll just start beef with people. And it's just a lot. It's just kind of, I don't know. It used to be a huge deal, and now it's just, I don't know. I feel like Facebook and Instagram are more popular in my opinion. But,
Okay. Now, do you think that has a demographic change? I mean, with X, obviously, I don't really think Elon Musk is very conservative. I mean, I don't think he is a conservative, but I think he's fairly neutral. But I know a lot of the left really paints him as right, as conservative, and kind of boycott X to a point. Is that so? If you're after a conservative demographic, is X still a player? Do you think or not? Yeah,
I just think of the way that social media, it used to be a huge deal where people would post on there and post the in a Twitter feed. That was a huge thing with putting hashtags and stuff like that. Now it's more they want to see video, they want to see photos, they want to see stuff that's interactive, they want to see stuff that has a lot of tagging options, where it's with Facebook they've done such a good job of being able to tag your location and how you're feeling and what you're watching, and put a video on there or a map of where you're at and where you're located. Twitter just doesn't have, or X just doesn't have all those capabilities. So it's more people just put their opinion on X. They don't really promote their businesses. They might do quick updates, about events and about maybe some promos they're doing, but I think the main ones, are just Facebook and Instagram. That's the main ones that at least I have found to be really successful. Yeah.
I had a friend of mine that was out east and used to own a food truck. And he did nothing but Twitter back before it was X. This was 15 years ago, probably. Well, I don't know if that long ago, but it was before COVID, I guess, put it that way. But he lived on Twitter. He was just because he would not park his truck in the same spot 2 days in a row.
Nope.
And so he would just put on Twitter, hey, I'm headed to this park, or I'm headed to this business, or this, I'm going to be at on this block. And he would just kind of give the address or where he was going to be.
Yep.
And I mean, he was super successful for a food truck. I mean, he stayed busy. But that was all through Twitter. He didn't go anywhere else and post his location. And he had people that would literally follow his truck.
Yeah.
And so, I was just kind of curious that. And then now, of course, we have a new one talking about conservative and not so, but Truth Social. Truth is out there. I mean, I don't know how popular that is. I mean, I'm not that guy, but
I think it's only popular with a certain section of people that find, that support the mission. So that's the thing that I have found in business is regardless of how you feel about the stuff that's going on in the environment, climate, like of the society that's going on and the political environment and stuff, that Facebook and Instagram, whatever you feel about them, have done a pretty decent job of like, people still are going to utilize them no matter where they fall. People from the left all the way to the right are going to utilize those platforms to, push whatever they're going to push. And that's important because you're going to want your businesses on those. Right. I feel like with all of the stuff that's gone on with X and who people think Elon is, or they don't want to support X because he bought it out, because whatever. Like there's just people that are just not going to use the platform because they don't support that. Facebook and Instagram, people are going to still use those because they're the most popular and because they haven't come out and been like, screw this type of people. They just people are going to still use them.
They just haven't said it out loud.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So it's all about perception, and I've seen people from all walks of life and all different political views still utilizing it for that. So it's like that's why I think
on Truth Social, you're not going to get that wide variety
No.
either.
So it's, and when I was talking about like how social media can be obviously really beneficial, there's also so much, like you've decided, so much harmful things though that can come from it.
There are.
Exactly. And what comes to mind first is because I'm like obsessed with like Netflix and true crime and stuff like that. When you look at something like the Fire Festival that happened, where the entire festival was built off of an Instagram post and influencers and stuff like that, and it all got torn down because it was obviously not the reality. It was obviously a farce and a scam, and people posting about that tore the whole thing down. So it's like there is so much power in influence and interactions and clicks and comments and shares and all that stuff. It's so powerful that for people not to utilize that, I think you're doing a disservice to yourself, because you can really spread your business well, and you can really get out there. So it's a very powerful tool that needs to be utilized, in my opinion.
All right. Well, we are over on our time. We're at 14 minutes. Let's wrap it up. Any final thoughts?
I'm excited to talk about each platform, and I'm excited to talk about how Small Business Referral Group is going to help businesses with that, because we're going to have modules about that, and then we're also going to be helping our businesses by sharing about them and information on them and stuff. So I think a lot to come about social media.
All right, because we're going to talk about each platform as a separate module.
Yep.
And, folks, I'm excited to bring good social media info to you, because here's my take on social media. Love it or hate it, exponential growth.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yep.
Everybody, thanks, Jordan, for coming in. Everybody have a great night.